Dear friends, distinguished guests, honorable women, I'm very happy to have you here with us today. This is Rajavi, Dr. Vidal Quadras. My name is Zolal, and like many in my generation, I was born abroad and have never had the chance to see Iran. My parents came to the US as students before the revolution, and my father, a prominent writer and human rights activist, received his doctorate from American U in DC. And due to the nature of his work and my mother's activities, I was introduced to the situation in Iran and the resistance from very early on. In July 1988, my father was killed at the hands of the Mullah's regime. In the summer of 1988 alone, 30,000 people were executed, and a whole generation of children. That made a major impact in their lives, but also I think it made a major impact on the country as a whole. From that day on, even though I was only 7 at the time, I felt like I had a responsibility, and my father hadn't sacrificed his life in vain, and I knew that one day I hope to be able to make him proud. My father taught me that sometimes the value of life is to sacrifice your own life for freedom and happiness of others. And my mother, she's taught me to stand for what I believe in, no matter what the cost. And I'm honored to say that my mother is one of the vanguard women in Camp Liberty today. With all that said, I think it's clear why I'm here today, but the choice wasn't as simple as it may seem. Growing up, my parents and everyone around me always encouraged me to concentrate on my education because, as they always said, it's our generation's responsibility to rebuild Iran after it would be free. The summer before my senior year in high school, I remember I ran into an article that said there are 20,000 Iranian doctors in the US. And my first thought was, well, are you going to be one of these 20,000? Or are you going to be one of those who frees Iran so these 20,000 can go and serve their own people one day? And that made a major impact in my life. A few days after this, I was actually speaking to a member of the resistance, and he was, we were just talking, and he asked me, by the way, what do you plan on studying next year? And I said, well, I'm thinking optometry, but minor in political science. And he told me, that's great, but how about humanity? And I said, wow, is that even a major? And he said, it is, but they only teach it in one university, and that's in Ashraf. And those two facts ended up changing the path of my life. And after the student uprisings in the summer of 1999, even though I had received a full scholarship, I decided to leave that behind and I went to Ashraf. And I was in Ashraf for 3 years. And since then, I have been working in the resistance in different fields throughout the years. Over the years, this movement has transformed into a way of being, a way of life. You can't kill an idea, or way of thought, I guess, be it with daily executions, be it with destroying Ashraf, be it with attacks on Camp Liberty. No one can take away the desire and aspiration of the Iranian people to reach a free, democratic Iran. Mrs. Rajavi once gave a speech in Norway that I practically have it, I think I have it memorized by heart, because I think it's what's in all our hearts. And it was her I have a dream speech. She said, I have a dream of an Iran free of execution and torture. I yearn to see a country where cranes shall be used for construction and not destruction of human lives. A country where stoning and death and limb amputations would be a thing of the distant past. A country where religious and kangaroo courts shall be disbanded. A country where love, friendship, and tolerance shall replace mistrust, hatred, and vengeance. And my dream is to be able to make that dream come reality. And as she has also rightly stated, yes, we're seeking a new order based on freedom, democracy, and equality. We have chosen to persevere and fight to let our people enjoy a life of freedom and prosperity. And our motivation for resistance to victory isn't revenge, but our love for freedom and human rights. This is the fuel to our steadfastness and the secret to the endurance. And I think what has given us this strength is that we're prepared to pay the price whatever the cost. And that's the path that, on a daily basis, we learn from Mrs. Rajavi. And so despite everything, I think that we're quite a lucky generation to have the opportunity to be part of this movement. And so I thank you once more for being here today, and we're honored to have you here. Thank you.